more technologically advanced. And then back then, we aren't even that technologically advanced. So to say that somebody went to the moon back then, I don't know what to make of it. I don't. I would have to see compelling evidence that, well, compelling evidence otherwise to say that somebody actually went to the moon. Now, the guy that actually went to the moon, the guy that was said to have made the trip to the moon, um, I don't think he's quite convinced. I mean, no disrespect to him, but I don't think he doesn't sound very convinced. It doesn't sound like he wants to totally defend it. I don't know if that makes sense. But I would say I'm on the fence on this one. Neutral. Yeah, because I don't know what to make of it. Because the technology has to be there. And the technology wasn't there, and then they were televising it on television. And I believe even the technology for television wasn't that advanced even then. So how did they get the transmission to then come on television? Because I know we use airwaves here, but I don't think it's the same laws in space. I think it's a different law, and I'm talking about the law of physics here. I think it's a different law of physics there. So yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence on this one.
So, from what you said, do you think in your mind you would need evidence that they did go rather than evidence that they didn't? In other words, your natural instinct is, well, they probably did, but
Yeah,
if someone showed me evidence that they didn't,
yeah.
I would go with that. But you seem to be saying if you're going to believe they went, you want some firm evidence of that. And if so, what sort of evidence could provide that for you?
Ah, right. Okay. Um. So I would want. Right. The more that I think about your question now, the more I'm persuaded to sway the other way. I don't know which way I am swaying. Because I'm thinking, I'm
It's
thinking,
swaying in the wind.
I'm thinking now. So if they did go to the moon, what sort of evidence would I need? Now, evidence can be doctored, can't they? Especially images, either moving image or static images. They can still be
Mm.
potentially doctored, can't they? And even more so now, it'd be much more easier to doctor any evidence now because of AI. So I would say I would need evidence that they didn't go. So the onus of
Mm.
proof be on those disputing it, because those that
Yeah.
are trying to tell me that is real, I don't know what to require of them. So I would place the onus of proof on those that don't believe that he actually went. So I would say, well, prove it.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I found my footing now.
I mean, I know what you mean about the lack of technology in a sense. I mean,
Yeah.
we were asked to believe that, I mean, we're told technology in a sense. I mean,
Yeah.
we were asked to believe that, I mean, we're told now that the amount of computing power in the command module, the lunar module as well, was less than we have in a mobile phone nowadays, and or in a smartwatch or in a calculator. And if that was the case, and that's often been said, then it was a hell of an achievement to do that. I mean, that spaceship, the Saturn V, the command module and its engines, and the lunar module, a massive vehicle lifting out of the Earth's atmosphere
Right.
with 2 million parts. I mean, it's that much, that much. So, and NASA were asked, I think, probably maybe to do with how it all was done. You
Yeah.
know, does every part have to work well, satisfactorily, for this to succeed? And they said, well, no. They said that never happens, probably in any kind of contraption like that, any engine, but we get 99%. Well, 1% of, so let's say there's 1 million parts and there's more than that in that whole construction.
Yeah.
1% is 10,000 parts. In other words,
Right.
they accept won't work. Now, many of them, it won't affect the mission, but some of them it could. And I suppose we're asked to accept that 6 times they all work to perfection on a very complicated way of doing it without going into the technical side. But to have the little lunar module attached to the command module and it then detaches to the moon, there's to come back and find each other and all those things. An interesting thing was after the Apollo 11, the first one, and 12, the second one didn't get the same number of television viewers. I mean, incredibly, really, certainly in America and probably around the world. The first one, people were looking in shop windows and watching when it happened, apparently. The second one, it was kind of accepted, and NASA were worried they would get their funding pulled as a result of the loss of interest. And they actually had about another 8 or 9 missions planned. Well, it's said as a conspiracy theory, to regenerate interest, they did Apollo 13, which of course was the one that blew up a bit when it was up there, and they had to get the astronauts back, which they did eventually safely, and that renewed kind of the interest in it all. But
Hmm.
but yeah, it would be very easy to say, how did those 6 men really walk on the moon? One interesting thing is there's a very famous photograph of an astronaut on the moon on Apollo 11, but it's not Neil Armstrong. He took the picture of Buzz Aldrin. And you just think, if you're into conspiracy theories, again, you would think, well, surely the picture we should have is of the first